See you next time on The Chase Australia.
Dozens of suburbs on alert for infection.
And despite all the warnings, there are still blatant breaches. Tonight, a huge testing turnout as the Baralla bottle shop cluster grows.
The cricket crackdown. SCG tickets cancelled. Crowd slash for health reasons.
Another wedding raided by police for ignoring the rules. An overcrowded concert under investigation.
Also tonight, an intense storm rolls across the city from the west to the coast. Afternoon skies turn dark.
Trail of destruction, the dramatic chain of events that sent a bus into a house.
Flowing back to life, the outback communities who beat the worst drought on record.
And Australia and India arrive in town after negative COVID tests as Nathan Lyon tells the tourists to stop whinging.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Angela Cox and Michael Usher.
Good evening. Authorities are increasingly anxious tonight about a growing cluster stemming from a Baralla bottle shop with 2 more cases linked to the business, at least one of them a customer.
They've confirmed the person who introduced COVID into the bottle-o had no symptoms whatsoever, and many of those who've contracted it since made only brief visits.
It's the epicentre of Sydney's newest COVID scare, the BWS Baralla. Today, they were even cleaning up the neighbourhood, but the mess is spreading.
There won't be any lockdown of the Cumberland area. There won't be any lockdown in any other parts of Sydney.
Overnight, 2 more COVID cases recorded, both connected to the bottle shop, bringing its cluster to 15. 6 people infected in the store. They transmitted the virus to 8 others, 1 still under investigation. But thousands bought their Christmas alcohol there.
There could be exponential growth about to occur, and it could take many weeks before we see 0 cases again.
The COVID linked back to health quarantine transportation, who caught it off international arrivals.
At the time where the person entered the BWS, they had no symptoms and no reason at all to think they had COVID infection.
But it means more testing times for Sydney South West. 22,000 COVID checks, nowhere near enough.
The numbers are far too low.
As masks become must-wear items by law, required now on public transport, shopping centres, cinemas, or a $200 fine.
Where people will not wear a mask or will not comply with the health order, then we will enforce the health order.
And the production line is ramping up. This Sydney-made version, described as more a respirator than mask, more effective.
We forecast that we should be able to get up to nearly 100 million masks a month.
And after weekend protests against wearing them at all...
Typical Greenies trying to just completely misrepresent what we're trying to do here.
Health officials warn COVID could last years.
We'll be wearing masks for however long we need to wear the masks.
I wouldn't expect it to be that long.
Today, a testing clinic bore the brunt from vandals.
Tipped it upside down, slashed the canvas on top, smashed beer bottles everywhere. It's just disgraceful.
Masks now mandatory, an appeal for urgent testing and an assurance to Australians today that a vaccine won't be delayed. A new federal unit will oversee how and when a vaccine is distributed, but only when it's approved here.
Later on in the week, we'll be making more announcements about that timing.
We can smell this vaccine.
But a call by our acting Premier to redirect returning travellers to quarantine in their home states.
That's obviously a pretty silly thing for them to try and do.
And Chris Marr joins us now from Auburn. Chris, more COVID venue alerts for Western Sydney tonight.
That's right, Angela. 3 new alerts have been issued by health authorities for venues in this part of Sydney. Now, for those who may have attended the Reading Cinema at Auburn on the morning of the 30th of December, also the OKS Beauty and Hair Salon at Lidcombe the next day, and the Woolworths at Lidcombe on the afternoon of the 31st of December. And also an update at this stage, no fines, no infringements have been issued for masks, and health authorities are reminding members of the public that this really is a matter for police to enforce, not them. Angela.
OK, Chris Marr, thank you.
The third test will be played in front of just 12,000 fans, people who visited hotspot locations barred from attending, in another first for this chaotic summer of cricket. The government was forced to reduce capacity at the SCG, fearing a super spreader event, as all the tickets go back on sale.
COVID might have shut the borders, but it couldn't stop the Sydney test. Precious cargo, the Australian and Indian 11s, touching down in the harbour city this afternoon.
The SCG is ready for cricket and ready to host fans with safety and public health as the #1 priority.
Play will get underway on Thursday between Australia and India for a day one like none before it. The series tied at 1-1, the SCG a quarter full, public and members.
The capacity we'll be working to across the entire ground will be 25%.
The Sydney Cricket Ground can hold 48,000 fans, but the new limit means just 12,000 spectators will be allowed in. Masks will be strongly encouraged throughout the ground and strict social distancing enforced. Those already with tickets are being fully refunded. Those fans were able to enter an exclusive pre-sale from 5 p.m. today. Any remaining tickets will go on sale from midday tomorrow.
Patrons who reside in certain at-risk areas, as identified by New South Wales Health, are not able to attend.
They include areas of the northern beaches and people who have attended venues like BWS Barella. Those from regional New South Wales advised to stay away.
Think about it, reconsider. Maybe this year isn't a year to come to Sydney to watch the test.
The decision was made around lunchtime to slash capacity for the test after discussions with New South Wales Health.
What we're trying to do in our public health strategy is making sure that you don't have a super spreading event.
One of the big challenges for organisers has been the threat of wet weather, with rain sure to empty these stands of spectators and move them into the famous bars of the SCG.
We would encourage people, if it does rain, to actually bring ponchos.
Doctors' groups say it's not enough.
If people are crowded together inside undercover, so that could be another factor of why we really shouldn't have crowds at the Sydney cricket test.
Well, I won't be going to the cricket.
Cricket Australia today also hosed down threats of a Gabba boycott from within the Indian side over complaints about Queensland's strict quarantine.
We're on track to play out the Test series as scheduled.
In my eyes, it's a very small sacrifice for us to get out there and play the game that we love.
Taylor Auerbach, 7 News.
Another popular Sydney wedding venue has been caught out breaking the rules for allowing too many guests. Up to 700 people piled into the Fairfield Reception Centre on Saturday night, double its COVID capacity, and just 10 kilometres from the city's most worrying cluster.
It's known for its big and bold weddings. Imperial Paradiso had promised to tone it down to meet COVID rules until Saturday night, when it hosted between 600 and 700 guests, including some who weren't on the invite list. The maximum number allowed, 350.
I'm actually quite disgusted that anybody would put their community at risk that way.
The licensee, Steve Namo, has been slapped with a $5,000 fine. In August, he spoke about the impact the pandemic was having on his business, when restrictions were even tighter.
The whole opening under COVID-19 restrictions is doable, like all the safety practices, etc., but the actual costing of the operation, it's not going to be, again, something we can cater to when there's only a 150 cap.
No excuse, says the police minister.
I cannot believe that any sound person in this state in 2021 doesn't understand what their obligations are.
But that's exactly what has landed this Cronulla beautician in trouble. Fined $1,000 not once but twice in just 3 days for failing to self-isolate after close contact with a positive case. Instead, she's accused of taking a dip at this Byron Bay resort.
Were you by the pool when you should have been self-isolating?
No, it's not by the pool.
Do you think you placed anyone's health at risk?
No, I'm double negative result.
2 Northern Beaches residents have also been caught breaching health orders by leaving their Collaroy home to travel to Yamba for a holiday. They've been fined $1,000 each. No fine yet, but Rudy Hill RSL is under the spotlight for this packed Human Nature concert on Saturday night. While masks weren't yet mandatory, there were few to be seen and little evidence of any social distancing. Since Christmas Eve, at least 40 businesses and individuals have been fined for breaking the rules, and police warn now masks are mandatory in most public indoor settings. They'll use discretion, but they won't tolerate people blatantly doing the wrong thing. Or joking about it, which is what Christian lobbyist Lyle Shelton did when he bragged about running across the Queensland border. He was actually allowed to. He had a permit, but police didn't know that until they investigated.
It was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but look, I certainly regret and apologise to the Queensland Police.
It was just a funny tweet
which in the end is not really that funny because what you're doing is taking away resources.
Critical resources dedicated to keeping people safe. Ashley Hansen, 7 News.
A summer storm has whipped across Sydney in the past hour, bringing powerful winds, rain and lightning strikes. Our reporter Taylor Auerbach is in Kirribilli. Taylor, hello to you. It was quick, but it certainly packed a punch.
Yeah, Michael, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for much of the state of New South Wales, with more heavy rain and large hail on the way. Lightning strikes were captured by Channel 7's cameras in Kirribilli this afternoon as thick fog enveloped the harbour. The ominous system swept in from the west at Blacktown to the south in Cronulla, with flash floods covering roads and bridges in Winston Hills as well. There are more damaging wind gusts expected throughout the evening as well, Michael.
And Taylor, as we're on air, there's a large-scale search happening right now in the Royal National Park.
Yeah, that's right. 2 swimmers were swimming at a waterfall in Guatemala. One of those swimmers has failed to surface, so there is a massive search operation underway now to locate that person. We'll keep you up to date with any updates that come throughout the evening. Michael?
All right, Taylor Auerbach on the harbour there. Thank you.
More than 1.6 million Australians will be worse off, losing up to $100 a week as the JobKeeper subsidy is scaled back from today. Labor says the cuts are premature and come at a time of great uncertainty for businesses, with ongoing COVID clusters and border closures.
As Sydney and Melbourne stare down new coronavirus outbreaks, life in the Sunshine State is sailing along nicely.
It has been busier than we thought after the Sydney shutdown.
But as COVID clusters grow, so too does the anxiety.
The very time that restrictions are going up, the government's support goes down.
From today, JobKeeper payments will be wound back from $1,200 a fortnight to $1,000 for those working more than 20 hours a week.
That's not make or break for the bulk of businesses.
Maybe not, but about 500,000 still rely on the wage subsidy, down from more than 1 million in October. Most of those businesses are in Victoria and New South Wales. And with international borders still closed and domestic restrictions reinstated, tourism operators are among the hardest hit.
JobKeeper has to be extended. Otherwise, we're going to be in a situation in 12 months' time where we'll be lucky to have a tourism industry.
We just can't keep going forever with the JobKeeper program.
Labor agrees, but says today's cuts are premature. Anthony Albanese is also backing calls for a national agreement to stop the chaos at the borders whenever there's an outbreak.
Certainly we'd like to see a nationally consistent approach, but we also need to remember that the coalface health response is undertaken by the states and territories and we respect their authority.
Leaving businesses guessing what they'll be facing next. Rob Scott, 7 News.
Australian health officials have their eyes on the UK tonight with the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine about to be rolled out for the first time. Let's go live to our Europe correspondent Sarah Greenhalgh in London. Sarah, good evening to you. So when does this all start?
Michael, good evening. It all gets underway here in about an hour or so. Right now, the UK has 530,000 doses of this vaccine in fridges ready to give patients at 6 hospitals from today. The plan is to deliver 2 jabs 12 weeks apart to ensure as many people as possible have some level of protection. Britain's immunisation program all started about a month ago with the Pfizer vaccine. This one, the Oxford vaccine, it is cheaper, it is easier to store and handle. The goal is to be delivering around 2 million jabs each week, but there are concerns that this country currently doesn't have the staff or facilities to achieve that as it battles a deepening crisis.
In his first interview of the new year, Boris Johnson had a familiar, grim message.
It may be that we need to do things in the next few weeks that will be tougher in many parts of the country. I'm fully reconciled to that.
Tens of millions of people across England are already living under the toughest restrictions, but still the opposition is calling for a third national lockdown.
That delay has been the source of so many problems. So I say bringing those restrictions now, national restrictions within the next 24 hours, that has to be the first step.
Almost 350,000 cases have been recorded in 7 days, up 34% on the week before. In London, 1 in every 4 people tested is positive for COVID. In certain areas, hospital admissions have doubled in a fortnight, blamed on the new virus variant. More than 1 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine have been distributed, but doctors say it's not good enough.
We have suffered a shambles of vaccines being promised, cancelled.
We should be training more volunteers. We need to mobilise resources on a scale that we've never seen before in peacetime in this country.
While parents are waking up this morning unsure if it's safe to send their children back to school. In London, Sarah Greenhalgh, 7 News.
Not a lot of good news came out of 2020, but our farmers have reason to celebrate. The drought has broken, with heavy rain bringing towns and properties once on the brink back to life. The grass is green, the livestock well fed, and the rivers are finally flowing.
From 2020's storm clouds came a silver lining. It quietly weaved its way south from Moree through Menindee to the Murray, filling farmers with hope.
The rain has been absolutely amazing and has transformed the landscape for our farmers.
These were the very first flows down the River Darling, and with a bit of time, beds that were biscuit dry for more than 18 months were again healthy and full.
Without water there isn't life, and we've certainly had our fill in New South Wales and we've needed it.
A lot can happen in 12 months. This time last year, New South Wales resembled a moonscape, in the grips of one of our worst droughts ever. 38 communities were just days away from running out of water, and now that number is officially 0.
We could have run out of water in cities like Dubbo, in Tamworth, in Foster, in Taree.
The drought is over. Farmers flooding social media with before and after pictures. They've never been happier.
We've got beautiful, wonderful grass. It's been raining lots and our cows are now fat and happy.
Rain has brought life back to every corner of our state. Bumper crops on once dusty plains, filling up our food stores. Once empty dams transformed. Wildlife is back, birds filling the sky, pelicans are full from feasting. Our outback is healthy. While rain has finally healed the state, we will see drought again. Authorities stressing we can't forget all that we've learnt about conserving and protecting water, our most precious resource.
We've got to make sure that we use this time to carry on investing in the right things so that next time there's a drought, we've got much less risk to the system and towns are able to continue to thrive and prosper.
What we know is that we'll have extra rain and we'll have extra droughts, and we've got to be prepared for both.
But for now, it's wonderfully wet. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
Beautiful sights to see, there's no doubt about that. For the very latest weather details now, Angie Asmus is here. Angie, good evening. So which areas are still on storm watch tonight?
Michael, warnings are still in place for much of New South Wales, including parts of Greater Sydney. Our weather camera network picked up that dramatic change a little earlier over the Parramatta skyline there. Dark clouds were followed by heavy rain. If we take a look at how those cells ramped up, you'll see the first warning zone was in the central west, then that area of instability just continued to expand. Some of the standout impacts include 90 km/h winds at Forbes, 50 millimetres of rain in 30 minutes on the south coast, and it was Sydney's turn late this afternoon. Zooming in on the metro region, those cells reached the outskirts of Sydney from about 4 p.m. Tracking east, Port Botany recorded a 94 km/h wind gust with widespread falls across the suburbs of around 10 to 20 millimetres. It is going to be an unsettled night as well. I'll have the very latest warnings a little bit later.
All right, Angie, thank you for that. Well, he's been repeatedly claiming the election was a sham. Now,
Donald Trump's been caught still trying to overturn the result. Next, the leaked tapes of the outgoing president's latest push.
Roadside inferno, the race to control a raging car fire in Mascot.
Close call, the incredible near miss in the path of an oncoming train.
Later, school supplies on the rise, why parents are about to get slugged.
And a rising star guides the Sydney Sixers back to the top of the Big Bash table.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
New mini hotcakes with Nutella have arrived at Macca's. Our famous hotcakes made mini with a delicious layer of creamy Nutella. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
Invest with La Trobe Financial, Australia's multi-award-winning wealth manager, returning a current variable rate of 4.35% per annum reviewed monthly on a 12-month investment. Make your money work harder for you. Call 13 80 10.
It's the final days of Spotlight's biggest sale ever. 30 to 50% off the entire range of Manchester, with massive savings on pillows, quilts, quilt cover sets, sheets, towels and more. So decorate it, celebrate it and create it for less. Sale ends tomorrow. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
The Maya Stocktake sale is now on, with 50% off selected mattresses, like this Sealy Posturepedic Carlisle, now $2,199, or this Sleepmaker Medina, now $1,999. On sale now for a limited time.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Our biggest sale of the year, with savings across a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Scali January sale, on now.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals.
Light and Easy made it pretty easy for me to lose it. I didn't have to think about it. The weight just kept dropping off.
I was really surprised with the results that I got with Light and Easy, and they do come quickly.
Fast track your weight loss success in 2021 with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jump online today.
Australia's biggest school shoe sale is now on. Buy one pair and get your second pair half price. We've got all the big brands like Clarks, Rock, Colorado, Lynx and more. Hurry into Williams and Mather's, #1 for school shoes.
G'day, Sue. Join me for a walk?
I'd love to, but my legs are aching.
I have the same problem. You need Revitive. New Revitive Medic with Oxywave is amazing. It's the circulation booster that gets my leg muscles pumping, which could relieve aches and pains, swelling, and now cramps. Plus, it's drug-free. It's truth. Someone got Revitive. Get Revitive today. It just might change your life.
Free home delivery at revitive.com.
We have some breaking news to bring you now. And tragically, emergency services have just recovered the body of a man who'd gone missing while swimming in the Royal National Park that we reported earlier. The incident sparked a huge response, his friends raising the alarm when he jumped off the waterfall and failed to surface.
There's been a roadside emergency near Sydney Airport after a vintage Cadillac caught fire. The flames came dangerously close to trees and power lines. It took crews almost half an hour to get on top of the fire, but the 1970s limo was destroyed. What caused the classic car to explode is still being investigated.
Legal experts call it a flagrant abuse of power, perhaps even a crime. A leaked audio tape of Donald Trump urging an official to find enough votes to overturn his loss in Georgia.
Over 1 hour, the president pressured Georgia's Secretary of State, even issuing vague threats, but he was told his claims of rigging and fraud don't stack up.
In Georgia, voters are about to settle two contests that will determine which party controls the US Senate. But President Trump is still trying to manufacture his own victory here from the election he lost in November.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
This leaked audio of a presidential phone call with state election officials. Donald Trump demands they find enough votes to reverse Joe Biden's win.
You can re-examine it, but re-examine it with people that want to find answers.
In a tense hour-long exchange, the president hurls legal threats and more claims of rigging. The Georgia official, a Republican, holds his nerve.
You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong. We have to stand by our numbers. We believe our numbers are right.
Trump opponents will see the audio as proof their president is on a self-interested mission with next to no evidence of fraud. For supporters, it likely changes little. In fact, thousands here in Georgia have tickets to see Donald Trump tomorrow at what he's dubbed a victory rally.
as America's COVID death toll passes 350,000. But Mr. Trump doubts the figure, calling it exaggerated.
You're going to have some deviation plus or minus a bit, but the numbers are real.
So too the president's frustration because his infectious diseases expert is revered by the lamestream media, tweeting, "He works for me and the Trump administration, and I am in no way given any credit for my work." In Atlanta, Georgia, Tim Lester, 7 News.
An American preacher has been murdered, shot with his own gun inside his church. Police say he found a wanted man hiding in the church bathroom. The armed pastor pulled his gun, asking the intruder to leave, but was overpowered and shot dead. 2 others were hurt before the killer got away. Police eventually found him in the pastor's stolen car. The 21-year-old, wanted over a drive-by shooting, is in jail.
Saving his shoe almost cost this man his life. Have a look at this. He was crossing train tracks when it got stuck. He doubled back to put it back on and barely made it off the track without getting hit. A policeman helped pull him clear, just dishing out a whack across the head once he was safe.
A bus driver's left a trail of destruction on a suburban street.
He lost control and smashed into a house next, what caused this crash, and the nurses who tried to help but made things worse.
Brutal assault, the citywide hunt for a man who left his victim in a coma.
A decision looming in Julian Assange's extradition trial. We'll go live to London with the latest on that.
And too close for comfort, the shark scare at a popular beach. That's next.
7 News brought to you by Officeworks.
School shop's done.
With low prices and great savings, get ready for the best back to school ever at Officeworks.
And I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away.
Escape into a new year with Home and Away on 7.
Domino's $5 pizzas are incredible value. 7 awesome recipes, all made with fresh dough, vine-ripened tomato sauce, and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. $5 pizzas, no voucher required. At Domino's.
Let's get to work. James Jacks, will you look at that?
I told you to pay attention to the road.
Clearly this wasn't my fault. Maybe not. You've taken a wrong turn on this one. Your insurance policy is monstrous.
You know, if you had Budget Direct car insurance, you'd get a hire car while yours gets repaired. And you could save hundreds.
Are we there yet?
Not at fault. Get a hire car while yours gets repaired. Just give us the other driver's details. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Godfrey's cleanliness sale is on now. Hoover allergy bagged or bagless, $599 each. Save $100. Hoover Ranger Robot, $449. Save $150. Godfrey's cleanliness.
Say hello to weight loss success with Jenny Craig.
Now it's even easier to reach your weight loss goals with Jenny Craig.
Start today with our free 8-week membership, plus free delivery, cost of food additional.
So call Jenny Craig now.
Some things are worth the wait. The Ford plate clearance is back. Now's your chance to get an outstanding deal on a 2020 Plate Ranger, Australia's best-selling 4x4 nameplate. Smart, tough and capable. Everyone wants a Ranger, so you need to get in quick. The 2020 Ford plate clearance. Don't wait any longer, because once they're gone, they're gone.
The Saucy McRib and legendary El Maco are back at Macca's. Delicious pork dripping in smoky barbecue rib sauce and juicy beef with chunky Mexican salsa. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
This seems easy enough.
Getting a loan can be complicated. Nimble makes finance faster. Get a Nimble personal loan up to $25,000 from 8.99%. Comparison rate from 10.31% per annum. Visit nimble.com.au.
Welcome back. There's been a dramatic accident on the south coast, a bus crashing into several parked cars after the driver suffered a seizure.
The chaos only escalated when two off-duty nurses came to his aid, smashing their way on board. They accidentally released the handbrake, sending the vehicle into power poles and then a home.
Almost 20 tonnes of bus slamming into this Wollongong home. Its driver semi-conscious on the floor.
Some off-duty nurses stopped to render some assistance, and when they broke into the bus they found that a male had collapsed and had a seizure.
Losing control, he'd smashed into parked cars on Staff Road just after 10 this morning. Fortunately, there were no passengers on board, but the two nurses were forced to jump for safety as the bus began to roll.
One of the females had then gone to turn the bus off because the motor was still running. At that point in time, the bus started rolling backwards.
This time, taking out a power pole, more cars, before hitting the house. While the driver was rushed to Wollongong Hospital, the nurses suffered only minor injuries.
One sustaining head injuries, and the other one was just pride and a bit of bruising.
That this is all the damage done is something of a miracle. The bus rolled 250 metres. The outcome could have been tragedy. The neighbourhood will be without power for a few more hours, but it should be restored come nightfall.
Very lucky considering the path of destruction.
Laura Banks, 7 News.
There's been a savage assault outside a service station in Western Sydney. A man was punched and slammed into the ground. Tonight, he's in an induced coma while police hunt his attacker, who ran off.
Left for dead after he was slammed into the concrete head first.
I would describe it as a tackle or a throw, and as a result, the victim has sustained a head injury by hitting the concrete.
The 24-year-old man was discovered on the footpath outside this service station in Lidcombe around 10:30 last night. Staff found him unresponsive.
He just couldn't breathe. He had a bleeding from somewhere, maybe from the ear or from the head. And then he couldn't breathe properly for long.
His head injury so severe, he was placed into an induced coma.
I consider it to be extremely violent and dangerous, and it's totally against the community standards.
Minutes before the attack, this man was inside buying snacks. As he left, he came to blows with the victim. At this stage, investigators believe the men are strangers and simply crossed paths here at the service station. Witnesses say the heated exchange was unexpected and brief before punches were thrown.
They just started punching each other.
A number of forensic exhibits have been seized and are currently being analysed.
After a day-long manhunt, the suspect remains on the run while his victim recovers in hospital. Natasha Squarey, 7 News.
After more than a decade of legal back and forth, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange will, in the coming hours, find out if he'll be extradited from the UK to the US to face espionage charges. Europe Bureau Chief Hugh Whitfield is at the Old Bailey in London. Hugh, hello to you. This is a significant step.
Michael, more than 10 years after Julian Assange and WikiLeaks first published secret US government war logs, the Australian will learn whether the British courts here agree with Washington that he should be extradited to the United States. It follows months of hearings here and years in legal purgatory for the 49-year-old, including his 7-year stay in the Ecuadorian embassy here in London. He's now in custody at the city's Belmarsh prison. Assange's legal team claim the US case is largely political and poses a threat to press freedom. America says Assange and WikiLeaks illegally disclosed US secrets, arguing he faces up to 6 years in jail, not the 175 years the Australians' lawyers fear. The potential curveball is Donald Trump, with a public campaign to have the president pardon Julian Assange before he leaves office. We'll know soon what the courts here have decided. Both sides are expected to appeal. Michael.
Hugh Whitfield reporting from London. Thank you.
Communities in Queensland are on flood watch, with ex-tropical cyclone Imogen dumping heavy rain and bringing dangerous winds. Overnight, the system tore through the Gulf with gales of up to 100 kilometres an hour.
Imogen's aftermath. Corumba's main attraction in tatters, strips of iron ripped from the side of the Barramundi Discovery Centre. The cyclone hit with wind gusts of up to 100 kilometres an hour, dumping 262 millimetres of rain in 24 hours. The deluge leaving the remote Cape community cut off. No power or internet, roads in, now under. Nearby in Normanton, the local bowls club is now a swimming pool. But residents there and off the coast on Mornington Island are relieved Imogen didn't leave more of a mark.
If it had been a category, even a category 2, the outcome would have been a whole lot different, and a 3 or 4 would have been catastrophic.
The Category 1 storm made landfall around 9 p.m, weakening to a low-pressure system as it carved a path across the Cape York Peninsula. Barron Falls is already raging. Cairns copping more heavy rain that turned drains to torrents and inundated the Earlville Shopping Centre car park.
It's very, very wet.
Now, Ross River Dam is at 51% capacity, but with more than 300 millimetres of rain expected to fall in the catchment over the coming days, it's expected the dam could spill by the end of the week. Mac Lyon, 7 News.
2 large sharks shut down at Perth Beach this morning. One of them was spotted lurking just 15 metres offshore. Swimmers raced out of the water as authorities sounded the alarm there. It's believed both were tiger sharks, about 3 metres in size. Well, it's a sad day for music fans right around the world.
The singer behind an iconic anthem has died. Next, You'll Never Walk Alone tributes for Jerry Marsden.
Soon, could the cost of school supplies be about to spike?
The Hollywood beefcake bringing his burgers down under.
Soon in sport, Nathan Lyon's blunt message to India over their threat to boycott the Gabba test.
And with severe storms on the radar this evening, I'll have all the latest warnings you need to keep across. That's coming up.
Meet the doctor with the gentle touch.
Wake up.
Who has lots of patience and very little patience.
You hear about this? You never think it's going to happen to you.
It's head lice, woman. Next patient.
Doc Martin, tonight on 7-2.
At Bet365, we're always innovating, creative. It's this constant pursuit of perfection that brought you Bet Builder, Match Live, alerts, and live streaming. It's the reason we're the world's favorite online betting company.
Gamble responsibly.
Feel real comfort on a plush sofa. Now with up to 50% off. Plus 48 months interest-free.
If you've been awake for 17 hours or more, the effect on your driving is similar to having a blood alcohol content of 0.05. So remember to get a good night's sleep before your next drive and don't trust your tired self.
Good evening. A great time to go dodo, because it always is. See, we're an energy company that chips in for your internet with unlimited NBN plans now from just $55 a month when you combine with energy. TimeToGoDodo.com.
Husqvarna has a wide range of robotic mowers for every size and shape of lawn. Upgrade your everyday with the intelligent Husqvarna Auto Mower. Find your perfect match at Husqvarna.com.
With McDelivery, Macca's comes to you, so you can enjoy it at home, fast, safe and contact-free. Search Macca's website for your local delivery partner.
Get more of what you need to lose weight with new MyWW+. With the at-home workouts, it makes it easier to fit exercise into your schedule.
It takes what's in your fridge and gives you healthy recipes to make for your family.
It tracks my sleep, makes sure I'm eating the right foods and having enough water.
And with hundreds of 0-point foods, you can lose weight and still have a life.
More holistic, more personalised, more weight loss. New MyWW+ from Weight Watchers Reimagined. Join now and get 50% off.
Harvey Norman Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home with this Samsung king-size 82-inch 4K smart TV now under $3,000, save $500. JBL soundbar $425. Plus, get 60 months interest-free with a bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
Let's get a check of finance now. The ASX 200 had a bumper start to 2021, closing up almost 100 points, its best start to a year in 2 decades. All sectors rose, with miners and banks leading the way. Fortescue Metals was one of the top performers, trading around 6% higher. The Aussie dollar is at a 2.5-year high, buying 77 US cents, the average price of unleaded. Currently $1.17. Good deals in the West, though. We found it for under $1 in Fairfield West.
Our Warragamba Dam is edging closer to capacity. The latest figures have it at 97.6%, but that doesn't take into account any of that rain that's fallen today.
We'll always be concerned about the high levels of Warragamba Dam. It's been my appeal to make sure that they're at a level that will mitigate any risk of flooding.
Water New South Wales says it's keeping a close eye on the weather and will begin releasing small amounts of water from tomorrow.
Hollywood star Mark Wahlberg is bringing his chain of hamburger restaurants down under, the first to open in Circular Quay in the next few months.
I am so excited about the first Wahlburgers location in Sydney, Australia. Not only bringing you Wahlburgers, but also wonderful cinematic experiences.
That's because the locations are inside or near United Cinemas, the Mustaka family signing a deal worth $50 million. It's hoped the venture will eventually create 500 jobs. Wahlberg says he'll be back for the grand opening.
Liverpool's Mersey beat music era in the 60s was a hit-making machine, and tonight the city is in mourning. Jerry Marsden, the frontman of Jerry and the Pacemakers, has died from a heart infection. His most famous song, You'll Never Walk Alone, was recorded in 1963. Decades later, it is still being sung by footy fans right around the globe.
When you walk through a storm.
A cover that became a huge hit and an unforgettable anthem for so many. Jerry Marsden, frontman of the British band Jerry and the Pacemakers, one of the many success stories of the Liverpool music scene in the early 60s.
So ferry, cross the Mersey.
Playing at the Cavern Club alongside the Beatles and many others.
I've been very lucky in my career because I never thought I would still be going after 55 years, you know. Long time.
The 78-year-old's sudden death after a short illness has caught many by surprise.
Jerry Marsden was a true Scouser.
Paul McCartney tweeting, Jerry was a mate from our early days in Liverpool. He and his group were our biggest rivals on the music scene. You'll Never Walk Alone went on to strike a chord with Liverpool fans at Anfield. And even here in Australia when the side played at the MCG a few years ago. The club says Marsden's words will live on with them forever. Mike Amor, 7 News.
Parents are being warned the cost of school supplies is about to skyrocket. Why back-to-school essentials are on the rise. And the simple tricks to help you save. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News.
But now Matt Shervington's here with sport. Matt, good evening to you. Nathan Lyon, he did not mince his words today.
Yes, Michael, and it's fair to say the GOAT was a little gruff when quizzed about India's threat to boycott the Gabba. Wait till you hear what he had to say. Plus, Mitchell Pearce missing from night's training as the club deals with the shock indiscretion from their captain. And sand, camels and an Aussie beast. Toby Price dominates stage 1 of the Dakar Rally.
The series is level, and now Australia must win. And at the pink test, can our Aussies turn the tables on India?
Will they be up for the fight?
Then the superstars will shine in a massive Big Bash double.
Brilliant.
The pink test and the Big Bash double header starts Thursday on 7.
Friendship lives here, between the wickets. Zinc on, long off, and very serious at silly mid-on. We live for Saturdays, boundaries, and drives into the car park. Just missing the windscreens, but smashing the ceiling. CommBank's support of the growing Cricket for Girls Fund has helped create over 1,500 new teams. Because Can lives here.
No need to shop around when you shop with Appliances Online, the world's biggest brands at great prices, including Bosch, Fisher & Paykel, Westinghouse, Samsung and Asato. For great prices every day, visit appliancesonline.com.au now.
Optus wants you to hit speeds like never before. That's why we're not only fast, but rated #1 by the ACCC for NBN average download speeds. It starts with yes.
With incredible drive-away plate clearance offers on selected Lexus SUVs, find your way at the Lexus Summer Event. On now.
The Myer StockTech sale is on. Shop 15% off the original price of appliances by Breville, Tefal, Sunbeam and more, and 30% off Kids Essentials ticketed tees and shorts. Conditions and exclusions apply. In-store and online now.
My store.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. Up to 50% off. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
With McDelivery, Macca's comes to you, so you can enjoy it at home, fast, safe and contact-free. Search Macca's website for your local delivery partner.
Good morning! Maya, what are you doing?
The world's most famous bee is back in trouble.
I need you to deliver the regal orb of Greenleaf.
Willie! Oh, she's adorable!
Their greatest adventure
She needs our help.
is just beginning.
Give me the princess! Princess?
Princess?
Smush!
Maya the Bee, the Golden Orb. In cinemas these school holidays.
Welcome back. Both cricket teams are in town for Thursday's third test at the SCG, where crowds will be slashed to guard against COVID. While talk of an Indian boycott continues, the Australians are determined to complete the deadlock series in Sydney and then Brisbane.
On the same chartered flight before boarding separate buses with masks mandatory, both teams and staff have tested negative to COVID. At the team hotel for Australia and India, families can stay in the Sydney COVID bubble for now. Reports of a player boycott getting Nathan Lyon gruff.
Let's just suck it up and get on with it and stop complaining.
Getting on with it, workers at the SCG, deep cleans for affected areas and surfaces, staff setting up security zones. Country fans urged to stay away, the daily crowd to be capped at 12,000. That's bound to affect Jane McGrath Day.
One of the great sporting days in the world, let alone just in cricket and Australia, and just the feel good around the crowd. So, yeah, that's one of the points of the Sydney Test match that does sit heavy.
When they leave Sydney for the final test in Brisbane, both teams will again be confined to hotels and the Gabba.
Regarding to the quarantine, I know there's a few people from both squads who have been in a bubble for close to 6 months now, but in my eyes, it's a very small sacrifice.
400 test wickets beckon for Lyon in either Sydney or Brisbane. The Gabba Series finale, the off-spinner's 100th test. But the figure that gets his goat is the 1-all deadlock.
It's exciting. There is something special building. I can feel it.
Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
Josh Philippe showed again last night exactly why he's widely regarded as an international player in waiting. The 23-year-old rising star is now the leading run scorer in the Big Bash after crushing 41 from 24 balls in the Sixers' 7-wicket win over the Adelaide Strikers on the Gold Coast.
He can hit the ball 360, and when he stands still and hits the ball straight, that's when he's at his best. So it was great to see him do well, and he's having a good tournament.
The defending champions chased down their 151-run target with 2 overs to spare. Aussie star Marcus Stoinis finished just short of a century in Hobart late this afternoon, finishing on 97 not out in the Melbourne Stars clash with the Hurricanes. It's all Sydney at the top of the Big Bash table. The Sixers lead the Thunder by 2 points, with the Hobart Hurricanes a further point back in third. And the Thunder can reclaim top spot tonight with a win over the Brisbane Heat. Will go live to the Gabba straight after 7 news. The Knights say Mitchell Pearce won't be sacked, but admit he could lose the captaincy after his latest off-field indiscretion. Pearce didn't return for training today. The club says he'll be back at the end of the week. The 31-year-old's wedding was cancelled after inappropriate text messages from Pearce to a female Knights staffer were discovered by her boyfriend. Daniel Sayafidi denies the incident has split the playing group.
We've got a lot of older heads and straight up aggressive people that if there was a split we'd address it straight away, but honestly there's not at all.
Definitely needs to be addressed, there's no doubt about that when he comes back. Otherwise it just can fester in amongst the group.
And reigning premiers, the Storm, had their first session of the year this afternoon with Harry Grant at hooker and no Cameron Smith, who still hasn't revealed his future. Aussie Toby Price is setting the pace at the Dakar Rally. The first stage, a 277-kilometre trek through the Saudi Arabian desert, belonged to the two-time champion. Price opened up an overall lead of 23 seconds in the motorbike category, despite some off-track excursions in the latter stages.
A little annoyed I got lost a little bit, but all in all, yeah, we've tried to look after the bike. We've had no crashes. Yeah, happy day.
Price's issues paled in comparison to his main rival, defending champion Ricky Brabeck, who fell more than 18 minutes behind. And guys, we're not getting carried away at the moment. There are 11 stages still to go, 7,301 kilometres left to go. But good luck to Toby.
He's a good rider, but that is the definition of punishing.
It's a long way.
Extraordinary. Good on you, Matt. Thank you for that. Well, parents will be in for a shock when they do the maths on back-to-school shopping lists. The cost of basics is tipped to rise. The good news, though, is that there are bargains to be found.
Father of two, Nathan Hook, is a man on a mission. With Christmas behind him, he has his school stationery list and he's checking it twice.
I wrote down on my list the prices of different places so I could, compare and hopefully find, something cheaper.
As the cost of sending kids back to school adds up.
You have all the school fees too, and they start sending them in December.
A survey's found parents should expect to spend $592 per child, up 10% on last year. That's just for essentials like uniforms, shoes, stationery and school bags. Once tech items and sporting gear are added, the average total is close to $1,000.
We're seeing screens, we're seeing computers, printers, earphones, all those are performing extremely well for us.
But these products are out of reach for many households still reeling from COVID job losses and now reduced government payments. 1 in 10 parents admits to leaving their shopping run to the last few days before school starts, but experts say there are savings to be had by planning ahead.
Get online now and shop across sites. You will find the better deal.
It's something that we've got to continuously plan for through the year and try and be wise with our money.
Sonia Marinelli, 7 News.
A kitten's found itself in a tight spot, stuck between a bonnet and a radiator. Firefighters were needed to rescue the animal last night from a car in Greystanes. Fortunately, the kitten wasn't injured or even distressed and was returned to its relieved owners.
Now let's take a look at what's on Sunrise tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Ange and Michael. When you wake up making money on the side.
Why investing in the share market is easier than you think and you don't need thousands of dollars for a good return.
That's tomorrow on Sunrise. See you in the morning, Sydney.
Guys, coming up, Angie Asmus has the forecast. Angie, it's been a dramatic end to the day.
It has been, Ange, and this pattern of humid conditions followed by late afternoon storms is likely to continue. Your Tuesday forecast is next.
Huge night tonight at the Gabba, the Big Bash. Brisbane Heat versus the Sydney Thunder and Michael Slater. The Thunder are in good form.
Yeah, they are, and I can't wait to see Ben cutting up against Heat again. I like Majib as well. Are the Heat on the rise?
Oh, and will Chris Lynn play? He's been out practicing. That'd be a factor. Up next.
Looks like members are getting free and faster deliveries with eBay Plus.
It's like the Fast and the Furious in here.
I found the Furious.
Here at
Amart Furniture, it's the last days of our Boxing Day sale, with up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. You'd better get a move on. Amart Furniture. Sale ends tomorrow.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals. Jump online today.
Back to school is easy at the Athlete's Foot with formal shoes from Ascent, Alpha, Rock, Harrison and Clark's, and sports shoes from Asics, Nike, New Balance and Saucony from $80. Back to school at the Athlete's Foot? Now that's fit.
Be healthy. Be together. Be determined. Be excited. Be kind to yourself. Be tough. Be whatever you want to be. OptiSlim has your back with the exciting new OptiSlim range with OptiBiome, developed in leading UK universities and winning awards around the world. OptiSlim OptiBiome is meal replacements revolutionised. Take your journey your way at optislim.com.au, Chemist Warehouse or Woolworths today.
Now this is a story all about how fast food got flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how to dish the fries and eat fresh everywhere. Burgers and fries, we were born and raised with the dirty birds having their greasier ways. There was all in the bag and we washed it all pool, supplementing tiny burgers with a side of French foods. When a couple of guys who were up to some good started serving fresh in my neighborhood, I took one huge bite of that foot-long bread and said, yo, skip the grease and eat fresh instead. I wish for something better and then it came here. The meatballs and tomatoes and lettuce leaves appeared. If anything I could ask why good food was real, then I thought I'd forget it. Eat fresh is here!
At Nick Scali, the Moosa 3-seater leather lounge was $29.80, now $16.90. This sleek leather lounge now $16.90. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
The stylish Haval H2, a globally engineered, European-designed and feature-packed SUV. From just $22,990 drive away. Haval H2 Auto. Go with more.
You ready? Is the rookie really ready?
I am.
For his biggest fight yet. The new season of The Rookie 2021 on 7.
Tonight's 7 News headlines. Western Sydney's on high alert with health chiefs still concerned over the growing Baralla BWS cluster.
No fines yet for people failing to wear a mask as police get tough on events breaking the rules.
New rules for the SCG test, the crowd capacity slashed to 25% and people who visited high-risk venues blacklisted.
And a wild storm swept through Sydney late this afternoon, bringing lightning, heavy rain and flash flooding. Now here's Angie with the latest on those storms.
Thank you, Ange. Severe storms surged across the state this afternoon, sweeping over Sydney and now impacting Greater Newcastle. Before that downpour, the city reached a very warm top of 27.7 degrees. With that, humidity levels did not dip below 70% all day. Across the suburbs, most of the day was cloudy, although fine, until those late storms. Tops generally reached the high 20s, so 28 degrees for Manly, 28 also the top for Richmond. Katoomba recorded a slightly cooler top of 22. The radar image from the last few hours shows a very angry line of storms surging from west to east. They were short and sharp. Rainfall totals amounted to about 10 to 20 millimetres. From the latest satellite image, you can see that expansive, massive cloud over eastern Australia producing those storms. They are happening right along a trough line, which some of those cells developing very intense within that system. Now, tomorrow, that pattern of showers and late storms along the coastal fringe continues. Again, the wet weather will increase during the second half of the day, though. Around the nation tomorrow, Brisbane will be fine, aiming for a top of 33 degrees. Canberra, just a light shower or two. Melbourne will see rainfall, but it's likely to ease during the afternoon. Just a possible shower for Hobart. Adelaide, though, will be fine, aiming for a top of 24. And a different story in Perth. Very warm once again, 36 degrees and sunny. For New South Wales tomorrow, the far west stays fine, but again, the wet weather continues for the rest of the state. Won't be too much to worry about until the afternoon. That's when we could see another round of late storms. The same goes for the metro region. It will be partly cloudy for the bulk of the day, followed by showers and storms. Those storms once again have the potential to be severe. On the water tomorrow, northerly winds will reach 30 knots offshore in the early morning. Later in the morning, they will swing around to the south-southwest on a 1.5 metre swell. Now, wind warnings tomorrow extend beyond Sydney waters north into the Hunter and Macquarie coasts. For the CBD, a temperature range of 19 to 27 degrees, showers and a late storm, possibly severe, so very similar conditions to what we saw today. Now, looking ahead to the next week or so, the showers roll on for a few days yet, but you'll notice the rainfall totals are considerably lighter and we won't see the late storms develop. It will generally just be a couple of showers. Now, a refreshing change towards the end of the week, though something we haven't seen in quite a while. A little bit of sunshine and some summer-like temperatures. Monday, 28 degrees in the city and 31 in our west, so we can look forward to that change on the way, guys.
And we definitely will be too. All right, Angie, thank you for that. That is 7 News for this Monday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all of us here at the 7 News team, thanks so much for your company. Have a great night.
Good night.